All right, I'm gonna say this again. Some of you need to leave the United States. I'm in a video telling you that, and it's been seen almost 2 million times. And I still mean that there are people in this country, there are groups who are going to be at great risk, who are going to be subjected to really dangerous things. And if you can, and if you feel like that's you, I think you need to consider finding a path to leaving. However, I know a lot of you can't leave, whether that's family or you're sick or you have loved ones or you have a, job situation or you just can't afford to leave. Like it's very expensive. I get it. We live in a country that has essentially trapped us here, and it's not possible for everyone to leave. And I'm not just doom and gloom. I'm an activist, and I'm going to be an activist, and I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for the system. So what we're going to do, because we're running out of time, both for the inauguration and for the potential end of TikTok, we're going to go through On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. It's 20 lessons from the 20th century about tyranny and fascism. We're going to give you some tools to help you get ready. So I'm not going to just read you the book on tyranny. That would not be fair. You should definitely buy this book if you can, or go to your library or use the app Libby, which I love, to get books from the local library. Like, get the book, read the book. I'm not just going to read you the whole book. I'm not really hip with TikTok and the TikTok shop, and I'm not going to do like the Johnny 5 robot TikTok shop thing, but I think I found a pretty good, reputable, small business that sells this book, and there's a link above in my bio if you want to go that route. That's fine. I don't care if you do. I don't care if you don't. It doesn't matter to me. Please don't buy this book on Amazon. Please do not buy this book on Amazon. We're fighting tyranny. Please don't buy this book on Amazon. Having said that, I am not a purist, so if you have to, if that's the only way you can get the book, that's okay. I would prefer you buy it from a local independent bookseller, support small businesses, and fight tyranny at the same time. If you can't, honestly, Barnes & Noble, not the best company in the world, but they're doing a lot to invest in their community. So if you have a Barnes & Noble, go for it. That's fine. So you've got a ton of options, right? You've got a ton of options to do this. But please also don't pirate this book, because Timothy Snyder is a great person, great creator, and a genius. He deserves credit for his work. And if you help spread this message of On Tyranny, I have 3 copies of the book. And if you comment the lesson name, I guess I'll just pick some when we're finished with this, and I'll send you my copy of On Tyranny. So let's get started with lesson 1. On Tyranny is a book of lessons from history on fighting tyranny and fascism. And the first lesson is very famous. It's don't obey in advance. So in lesson number 1, do not obey in advance, Snyder says very simply, most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. And what this means is that people obey ahead of being asked to do this. And he gives lots of examples over history. And again, I'm not going to read you the whole book, but he does talk about the Milgram experiment, where people were put in a room and they were told, hey, someone else is in the other room. You're going to shock them. And the people conducting the experiment would tell one person, give them a higher shock, to the point where these people thought that the person in the room might die from that shock, but they did it anyways because of the structure and power of authority. Nobody thought to say, hey, no, I'm not going to shock a complete stranger to death because I'm doing a science experiment. What happened in the 30s and 40s and what could happen now happened because people, they didn't speak up. And that made it easy for the government to do what they wanted to do. So how can you not obey in advance? There's a couple of ways you can do that. Number 1, you can ask questions early. You don't have to normalize things that are happening. You can speak up. If you see someone being discriminated against, say something. And put to yourself this thought. Here's the test. If you're obeying, ask yourself one simple question. Is this right, or is it just easy? If you live in a community that's facing deportations and you see ICE or CBP, I'm not asking you to do anything illegal. And obviously you have to know what your own sort of thresholds for danger are. But if it was me, I would say, hey, what's up? What are you guys doing? Hey guys, I see that truck of yours. What does Customs and Border Patrol mean? What are you guys up to? That is how you don't obey in advance. When people know that they're being watched, they are less likely to do harmful things, to marginalize. So you say loudly, hey guys, what are you doing? You need any help? Making your presence known prevents bad things from happening. There is still, for now, free speech in this country. There are still bedrock principles that hopefully apply. I don't know if they will, but lesson number 1 in this one is don't obey in advance. I'm going to stop creating content for the unraveling so that we can get through all 20 lessons. Please watch the playlist. Please help me get this information out. And let's do what we can on tyranny.